moment is liminal space. And so today we're going to be exploring the idea of liminal space together. And we'll continue in doing that today in the Courageous Conversations. And I know I launched that conversation last week with those of you who participated then. This is a post by Richard Rohr. It's no surprise then that we generally avoid liminal space. Much of the work of authentic spirituality and human development is to get people into liminal space and to keep them there long enough that they can learn something essential and new. Many spiritual giants like St. Francis or Julian of Norwich, Dorothy Day, and Gandhi tried to live their entire lives in permanent liminality, on the edge or periphery of the dominant culture. This in-between place is free of illusions and false payoffs. It invites us to discover and live from broader perspectives and with a much deeper seeing. In liminal space, we sometimes need to not do and not perform according to our usual successful patterns. We actually need to fail abruptly and deliberately falter to understand other dimensions of life. We need to be silent instead of speaking, experience emptiness instead of fullness, anonymity instead of persona, and pennilessness instead of plenty. In liminal space, we descend and intentionally do not come back out or up immediately. It takes time, but this experience can help us re-enter the world with freedom and new creative approaches to life. A couple of weeks ago, I was on the phone with my mom. We were right up against the anniversary of my dad's death, the 1-year anniversary of my dad's death. And we were talking together about that time right after my dad had died and right before she moved back to Durham, which is the town that I had grown up in and my parents had lived in for probably more than 40 years. She was exclaiming to me, I don't really know what was happening to me in that time. It was such a different moment. I didn't really know how to put words to it, but as I was listening to my mom, I was remembering these words by Richard Rohr, this sense of an in-between moment where everything that we knew that was true, that we understood as our life, that we knew that was about who we are and what our community and our world looks like, all of that was put to an abrupt halt just before the next thing. That liminal space, that in-between time, that moment when everything just stops and we sit and all we can do is ponder. Ponder what is coming next. Ponder how we will make it through. Ponder what have we gotten ourselves into in this moment. This time of pandemic, this moment that we have to face, that our world has broken apart and has broken open, when so many people are sick, when so many people are out of work, when so many people are questioning what is happening and what will happen next. It is in fact an invitation to us, an invitation for us to stop, an invitation for us to slow down, an invitation for us to imagine, to dream together, to wonder, to use our creativity and our play together to create a new way of being. I don't know about you, but stopping does not come easily to me. A lot of times when I stop, it brings up a lot of feelings for me. A lot of feelings about my identity, about my ability to care, about my ability to do and act and accomplish and check things off of my list. These are all things that I'm used to doing that make me feel good about myself and what I offer into the world. And stopping is necessary. Stopping is important. Stopping is vital to our health, to our connection to ourselves, to our understandings about how the world can heal and function, and how this community of faith can also heal and function. So, today, I invite you to stop. Even if it's just for a couple of moments. Even if it's just too hard to bear or too hard to face. Those hard feelings that will come up for you will in fact be a blessing. They are the places where we can learn, where we can discover anew the essence of who we are and whose we are. My senior year in college, I spent the last semester in London. I did so many amazing things. I went to all kinds of shows and museums and events and gatherings, and all of that was wonderful. And yet, there was a deep sadness inside of me. I didn't know who I was that far away from my family and friends. I didn't know how to understand how to live so independently like that, except to overfunction. I didn't know what was coming next. I was just about to graduate from college. I knew I was going to be moving to Seattle, Washington with my sister, but I didn't know what that was going to look like. I remember one morning waking up early in the Worrell House. I don't know, Marcia, if you know that, that building that's in London that Wake Forest owns. But I woke up in this gorgeous home where I had been staying for the semester with 12 other students. And I walked outside and I walked to Hampstead Heath, which is a large green space very close to where we were living. No one was there. The fog was starting to lift. The dew was on the meadow in front of me. And I thought, maybe this is it. Maybe this moment, just standing here, not doing anything, not knowing what was to come, but recognizing that I had such deep sadness and pain inside of me, and also recognizing that the world was immense and beautiful and unfolding right in front of me. I will hold on to that moment forever. What are those moments in your life? What are those moments where you felt challenged, where you felt intense grief, where you felt enormous pain? And then, almost like a doorway opening, or the clouds clearing from a finally no longer raining sky, and suddenly you saw something beautiful. Whether it was your child swinging on a swing, your dog wandering around the yard, your cat curling up next to you, your husband or your wife or your dear friend taking a nap. Whether it was like me and seeing the meadow in front of you and recognizing this moment is an opportunity for me in this liminal space. This moment is an opportunity for you in liminal space to imagine a different way of being, to develop a new vision for the future, and to not do it by yourself, because I can tell you that's impossible. I've tried. But to recognize that we must be connected to one another. We must continue to reach for one another, knowing that when we do, inevitably, it may not be the person you expected, but someone will reach back and offer you love and grace and hope and kindness and an invitation to the beauty of the world in which we live. Amen, and blessed be.